Alright, we back with the last of the Holy Trinity, the trifecta, whatever you want to call it. Hitting you with the second one. But with this one, it's a more technical list that you can play fast or slow or grind it out. This is like the best of the two color combinations. And this was what we usually used to do with Surge leaders. Let's get into this. Just getting straight wham bam into the list, because that's what most of you here for. This is kind of like the epitome of what yellow is when it's mixed with blue. Just straight out staples and interactions. And this, generally when you have like a technical list like this, there's no specific routes you really need to go. You just play for situation. And when you're of like a certain skill level, you can just create the situation that you want to be in that would be most difficult for your opponent. And that's why we like these posh deck builds, because you never know what to expect or what you're getting, and makes it really hard to counter. So we explained these in the previous list. Zamasu is a new different one, another easy charge, and a counterplay. Like I was saying before on the history, before it was just like this, but this was errated just to be battle cards. But hitting 4 or less, really important, really good. Going on to our next thing, we play a few yellow extra cards, so we can just set this up pretty easily. Bardock usually like the main go-to that we want to go into, because it basically gives us another turn depending on how we set up, which this helps us set up and build up, because again you want to comfortably get down to 4 and on the matchup. Playing one of blue's Son Gohan rares, and it's just another way to interact during the combo step, just to get rid of problematic mid-range bodies, or it can be a finisher ending piece. We have a very integral split of super combos. We got Son Goku, which we used in the last list, as we will focus on comboing and building up Z energy. But not only that, our Kefla, which also can be used to remove problems, but our Zeno, which helps us pick back up possible pieces that we might want. Sadly, I would run more if I could, but this is limited to 1 per deck. Classic blue staple that people wanted banned because how strong this is. And then people don't even run Mechikabura, which is crazy, because that's like equally strong. But to each his own. We just like it for the draw factor and being able to withstand the energy. Then we got our blue bombs, which is turning and tie, because it definitely can play out to that extent. Best game closer in blue. Then we going on to the Broly. This is kind of like a new tech that you generically throw in most of your blue decks, just as an insane pressure piece for to close out games. Then the counters This is really good because we're playing Zamasu, and we can stand it back up in case we want to combo it again, just for that interaction. But this says we're going to close the game out, and there's nothing you can do about it. Same with this, but not only that, it's just like to counter other blue decks and other ramp decks just to possibly hit Vegeta. And this is like one of the few cards that can hit 7 or less, or up to 7, which is really important to note. And you get a draw. Going into Yellow's best top end package, the multiple awakenings, easy, and I was thinking about running this in my last list, but I'm like, space. But I might just throw it in there just cause it's that quintessential to closing out a game, especially when you build up a lot of Z energy, and that deck builds up a lot of Z energy. So this might get trickled back into the first list. I'm at the second list. We're running this because of our choice of secret rare. What secret rare we run, I'm just gonna skip ahead. We're playing this bad boy because this, as been said before, has the highest ceiling to let you do the most. Which you want to play a lot of these cards in succession until our opponent has 0 life left, which we can easily set that up and be like lock the end game step, or the state of the end game. But going on to our bottom, gotta have some good finishers, like we explained with this before. But defense, one of the best defensive cards in the game, because we are just pretty lace. Also, Ultra Instinct Command Man, because unless we want to push for game or defend while not having to waste 2 to 3 cards, that's why we run the Ultra Instinct Command Mans. Pencil Bean, Staple. This is just for certain matchups, but also decent defense when paired with Central Bean and Zeno Super Combo. Same with this. Shockingly, Benos. You don't need to have all yellow for this one, which makes this a standout of why we running it. If we just have a multicolor, we're good. And Time Magic, just kind of having that as a parallel of 4 Sparkings with the 3 Sparkings with the 2 D Magic. Sadly, and this we can't use token negates, but that is all good. And this is most likely to just search out use 6 or same packages, but this is like the main card if we don't have it that we want to add to our hand when we trying to kill our opponent. And Z deck is pretty standard for the situation. I think this is like maybe the only new card that we haven't introduced from the other list, along with the Android 21, which gets us another energy to do cool stuff. But that's just having it in the package for the situation. It's like the Vegito, which is a triple striker we can end the game with, or Beerus, which is another problem solver that we can just lean into since it moves through barrier. Side deck is pretty interesting, kind of like a collaboration of what we leaned into so far, with prospects being a new addition that we haven't seen yet, which is if you're running blue, you want prospect somewhere in the main or the side that you can have easily access. Talked about these two cards already, but Tyrannical Blow. If that's another thing about these Surge Leaders, they can abuse the fact that they're two colors and get the effect of these specific cards that require one or the other. And that's why the dual utility is very, very good. And then we just got another one because the more the merrier. And just to hit that more consistently, because like since Cooler got banned, this is very important for yellow in closing out games. We already went over Vegito and how good of a reactive card it is and its counterplay ability. But gotta run the other S year. A lot of people sleeping on this card. This kept me alive many games. Especially against like colors like black and green. That just like to drop bombs at any point in time of the game. Rest one of their cards and just lock their turn down. Reminds me of the Surge Cell. Bandai bring back Surge Cell. It can come back. And lastly, for skillless decks, I think all I need to do is just buy one turn and I will be good. And this usually just buys me that turn against skillless style of decks. One of ones being Red Goku. Cause that whatever variant is still scary. But that's my list. Gotta be very particular on how you play it and what you do to bring the game to a close and just prevent standstills. Because there's a lot of direction and ways you can go for this particular leader. But yeah. Don't have a lot of yellow for repose, but if you can establish this and just use one of these, which 9 out of 10 times you get there, or paying 2 for repose is not bad, because you want to slow down the game until maybe between turns 4 and 6, where you start actually really doing stuff to threaten your opponent. But the main thing you're focusing on is just removal and just limiting their board presence and the damage output that they bring. But thanks for watching. That's my profile, and catch you on the next one.